Yo, what is up guys? Guido here, back again with another video. And in this video, my most requested video is how to install lights on a mini bike. So let's just get straight into this video. Okay, and as you can see here, I have my dad and I's mini bikes all posted up right here, and probably the biggest request from my last little mini bike light video that I did was people just wanted a little walk around to kind of see what my setup actually was. And when you are going to go and install lights on your mini bike, you kind of have to have a little bit of a plan and I guess a template that you want to use. So the first thing with doing lights and stuff on a mini bike is, first off, I recommend go and get a battery. Now this is just a 12 volt Duracell battery. Me and my dad are using the same one, although his is a little bit bigger. But with these bikes, you just need a regular motorcycle 12 volt battery that looks just like this one right here. I will link one in the description that will work down below, so you guys can just go and check that out. But we have the same exact setup for battery, and once you actually go and get your battery, you're gonna want to go and actually make a place to go and hold your battery. So depending on what bikes you have, if you have the Monster Moto frames like what we have, a good spot to actually mount the battery would be right in this area, depending on what motor you're running, because if you're running a Predator 212, as you can see, it fits perfectly right there and sits really flush up in there. Or even like my dad, since his is a little bit bigger, he wanted to go with a little bit different of a little style, different style with his, with the way his motor and everything is located. And as you can see, that's pretty clean and looks pretty flush. But if you have like a Baja Warrior or something different that's got like a gas tank or something, or excess storage or something else, you could also go and mount a battery up in there, so it's protected from the elements. It's waterproof, and also you can't really see it, and it will look a little bit cleaner and look like a little bit better of a install. Okay, and as you can see, here is some of the material that we actually went and used to go and make the little battery holder. Just angles and stuff like that we actually went and cut and welded and just put together. If you guys want to see a little bit of a welding tutorial of like how you go and weld stuff like that, I have a video that I will go and link in the description below that you guys can actually go and watch and learn how to weld, or I will also link it too in the top right, where you guys can go and click on it and watch that video. But pretty much here is just the materials that we actually went and used. You can actually get welding tools, welders and stuff like that. Also steel and stuff very cheap too. If you go to like a kind of big box steel stores, where we actually went and got all this stuff for really cheap. And also usually those types of places will go and cut you some slack and give you some good deals on steel if you go and buy it in bulk and get extra amounts of steel and stuff like that, so you can get a cheaper price. But anyways, then you can kind of see we have the battery here. Like I already mentioned, it's the same exact one that I have. It's just a little bit bigger, so I guess it's technically got a little bit more runtime out of it, and a little bit more power. But anyways, it's the same exact style that I have, and like I said, I will link one in the description that's just like ours if I can find it, or one that will work just as good that is pretty much the same as ours. But also too is, if you have a Predator 212, you can go and easily get a top plate for these motors and go and get a smaller gas tank and put a little battery setup or something next to your gas tank. Or if you completely go and relocate your gas tank to maybe like to the top frame right here, or even at the back where the exhaust is, depending on like what your setup is. If you have like a stage 1 kit or whatever, I've seen a lot of people, they go and put the little spun aluminum gas tanks at the back of these bikes, and it actually looks really clean. It actually looks pretty nice. The only bad thing about that is, you are obviously going to lose a little bit of, gas storage and stuff because they're quite smaller. But you could do a little mount on top of your motor. It just kind of all depends on, what bike you have and what, style and stuff like that you want to actually go with, to make a little bit of a, battery mount or something like that. And to make something like this, you will need, a welder or something. Because as you can see, we went and welded a little hinge on there that actually goes and holds the battery actually in, and then I have just a bolt and a nut and washers on there to actually keep the battery strapped in, and that does not move. And we went and kind of welded a little box, I guess you could say, onto there to actually hold the battery in. But you don't even have to do welding if you don't want to, just depending on how your box is. As you can see, my dad's is way simpler than mine is. He just went and welded kind of like a little bit of a box again, but for his strap, he's just using a Velcro strap that actually holds the battery in really well. So it's not going to go anywhere. But also too, you could use a Velcro strap and just strap your battery straight to there, or in the back somewhere, or like I was saying about the top plate or something on your bike, you can go and strap it anywhere you would like. You just kind of have to have, you know, your own idea of, you know, what you want to do and where you want to put your battery. Now, the next thing you kind of want to look at is your lights. So as you see, I just have one of the, you know, regular off-brand, pretty much Jeep Wrangler lights that a lot of people use on Jeeps and stuff like that. It's just the regular projector LED lights. It's got 4 LEDs in it. I actually got it at Walmart for 20 bucks. I would link this in the description, but a lot of people have actually been asking me about this, and this light has actually been discontinued and Walmart does not sell it, and I can't find it anywhere on the internet, so I will link one in the description that's just like this one. And also I'll see if I can find my dad's one. This one is actually really nice. This one has a further projection than my dad's does, but his, as you can see, it's got more LEDs. It's more of a widespread light. So this one is very, very nice if you're, you know, going down trails or something like that and you want a widespread, whereas this one's perfect for the street because it's just, you know, a full point beam. But anyways, with these lights, like I said, I will link one in the description that's kind of like this one, that mounts, you know, similar like this one does. But my next most requested thing was, how did I mount this light? Now, depending obviously on your bike, this is a Monster Moto 80cc mini bike, and when you buy these bikes, you know, from the factory and stuff like that, they obviously have the little plastic plates and stuff like that on the actual bike. And when you do buy them, there is a little front-mounted little plastic, I guess, number plate is what you could say. And when you take it off, there's actually 2 little brackets. You can see one right there, and then one down here. Well, you can't really see it because I have my front fender on here, but there's one there that actually the plate goes and mounts to. And what I did is I went and took that off, and this light that I actually have, as you can see, it has its own little custom bracket. So I just simply went and unscrewed it and just went and put the light actually on there and just screwed the bracket straight onto the stock factory bracket, so that holds the front plate on. So there was no welding, no nothing at all for this headlight that I actually went and installed, so that worked out perfectly. And then as you can see with my dad's, like I said, I'll try to link both of these lights down in the description. As I said with that one, it is discontinued, so I'll try to find one that's similar as that. But same with this one. If you look down in there, this one came with its own bracket. And for this light, my dad actually had to weld because this light was just too big and bulky to just put on this just small little pot metal bracket that these bikes come with for the little front plate. So he went and actually welded his own little mount right on here. It's just a piece of L bracket that he welded on there, and then the stock factory bracket from this light just pretty much just goes and bolts straight in there, and we had to drill a hole and put a bolt and nut and washers on there, so this is on there nice and tight. But that's pretty much how we went and did both of our front lights on our bikes. Now the next thing that you're going to need to know is wiring, so let's just get straight into that. So now with our bikes, we actually opted for a wiring kit that we also got at Walmart. Like I said, I'll try to link everything in the description, but a lot of the stuff when we went and did this, it's all discontinued now, which is very unfortunate. But it was like 20 bucks, and it was pretty much a plug-and-play little wiring kit. As you can see, it came with a switch, which my dad has installed on his. I also have one installed on mine too, which is very convenient. It lights up too when it's on, so you know everything's on. And as you can see, everything lights up. So it's a full-on, easy, simple plug-and-play system that we actually went and got for these bikes. It came with a relay, a fuse, everything. All we actually had to do was just go and cut some of the wire and make it a little bit longer, so we could actually go and fit it to go and fit into the places that we wanted to, since the wire was a little bit short from the factory. So, but other than that, it was a simple plug-and-play little kit. And I will show you some stuff on wiring, of how to do wiring. What you can do is you can solder stuff together, or you can easily just go and twist stuff together and put heat shrink over it. That works just as good. But pretty much from that, like I said, it's a plug and play kit, and I'll try to link it down in the description below for you guys. And I pretty much can't really show you guys like a wiring setup or a wiring tutorial because everything's already done on both bikes, and with this type of stuff I can't really go and tear it apart and show you, otherwise I would. But pretty much with this, as you can see, for our 3M strip LED taillights that we went with, they're not really taillights, they're just LED lights. But pretty much with these, You know, when you are seeing them at like Walmart or whatever, they have the little button you can press on, and they will go and like light up and stuff so you can see what different colors you are. When you actually go and open them, you know, to take them out of the box to put it on, you know, your vehicle or mini bike, whatever, it actually has like a little battery and stuff that powers it. So when you're in the place, you know, the store, you can go and press it and turn it on and off and see what it actually looks like. But when you go and take it out, it's actually a pretty good visual representation of actually kind of how everything goes and works. Now, as you can see, you don't want to install it on your bike like this just because you can't really charge that battery. It pretty much from just the wires and everything that comes out of the box, just to show you that the light works in the store. You can kind of see how it works. You have your battery with your wires that actually go straight up to the LED light. Now, in a real world instance, you would obviously want to have a fuse and a relay and stuff like that to also go in there too, and have a switch so you can turn it on and off. But I thought this was a good little example that you guys could actually go and see when you take it out of the box. You can kind of see, you know, it gives you a little bit of an idea of actually how, you know, the lights and stuff like that actually go and work on, you know, a car, mini bike, stuff like that. So you can actually go and use that and apply it to, you know, what you're going and putting your lights and stuff like that on. Also, I thought I would actually go in and throw in some more videos and stuff from our local Walmart so you guys can actually go and see the different light options and stuff there are. As you guys can see, there's tons of little wiring kits. The one wiring kit that I'm actually showing you guys right now is actually the one we went with. But this brand honestly has so many different knockoffs that you can find it on Amazon, you know, eBay, so many different things. They're pretty much all the same. Just the one thing to look out for is make sure it's got the switch, the relay, and fuse. Those are the three biggest things that I would always like to look out for those little wiring kits. And also, if you can, try to make sure it's a decent kit. Like this kit that I actually was showing you guys just now, it's by a pretty good brand, and it's a pretty decent kit. And I mean, proof shows I've had this on my bike for 2 years now and never has glitched up, messed up, nothing. So it's a pretty good kit, I'd like to say. And also too, from the other videos that I'm showing you on screen right now, you can just go and see all the other options for different lights. There's blue lights, red lights. I don't recommend you go with blue lights or red lights to put on your bike anywhere else unless you're just doing red lights for your rear, because depending where you live, that's going to be counted as police impersonation, and if you get caught with that, you get busted pretty badly. So I wouldn't go with that. But if you want, you can do green, any other different colors. Like I was saying, you can see all the different headlight options. There's a lot of different LED headlight options, or you can also just go with the regular incandescent. But I mean, it's 2021. I recommend you just go with LEDs, just because it's honestly, incandescents are kind of obsolete now. And also one little last video, because I know for sure we will get asked about this, but pretty much when you actually go and open up the light kit, this is kind of what it looks like. As you can see, it's got quite a bit of wires, so depending where you mount your stuff, there's quite enough, you know, wire to actually go and put it everywhere, you know, you want. You don't have to go and extend it. But in my case, I wanted mine like strictly routed up against the frame so it looked really clean and flush, so I actually had to go and extend it and then cut some parts, you know, so it would actually go and, you know, mount up and everything and look nice, so there wasn't excess wire or where it was too short. And also I can go and link a video that Chris Fix actually did of soldering and stuff, if you guys want to see how to, you know, solder wires and connect wires and stuff like that, in the description below. And I'm not, you know, getting paid by Chris Fix. He just makes good videos, and I am a true fan of him, so I thought I'd link his video in the description below, just because that's kind of how I learned from doing it. And also my dad too, because his videos are pretty dang good and they give you quite a bit of information. So I'll link that in the description so you guys can see how to, you know, go and extend the wires and stuff like that if you need to. But as you can see with the kit, completely all out, it has the switch, the fuse, and the relay, which, like I already said, those are the three things I would look out for. And also our kit came with different connectors and stuff that actually went and fit on our battery perfectly, so that was a big win. And yeah, that is pretty much about it. But I thought I would show you guys that, because when you actually go and open up the whole entire kit, that is what it looks like. So there you guys go. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video on the lights and how to install them on your bike. I really wish I could have did more of a interactive video of actually installing them, but with this type of stuff I can't really, you know, go and tear it apart and show you guys how to do it. But I hope my little tips and tricks and my little things to know, and also just me explaining on how we went and did them, I really hope it went and actually helped you guys out. Honestly, it's probably one of the easier things you can do to mini bikes and stuff like that. I know it sounds hard, but I have little wiring and light experience and stuff like that with this type of nature for like wiring and stuff like that. And it was pretty easy, especially with just the plug and play kit, because everything pretty much just wires together, and then it all just goes inside pretty much for the wiring kit, and then that just goes straight down to your battery. So it's very, very hard to mess up. It's pretty simple. But anyways, I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and also make sure to like and subscribe. As I already mentioned, once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we are going to be doing a massive surprise video. I'm not going to say anything about it yet, but it is going to be a big deal, so you guys definitely want to be there to see what will actually happen. So make sure you guys go and smash that subscribe button and also the like button. Hope this was helpful. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.